Okay, today I'm going to go over the joint mobility routine that I use every morning to loosen up, to recharge. I like to do this after workouts as well. Anytime I really feel like I'm getting tight or stiff. When I'm not on the road teaching seminars, I'm sitting down most of the time at home on the computer, writing articles, designing programs for clients, things of that nature. And if we're in a seated position too much, we get really tight in the hip flexors, our neck can start getting stiff, our shoulders start getting stiff. So when we start losing mobility, we're in a rapidly aging process. Now, I travel a lot, I'm always on planes, and I'm always surprised with the lack of mobility I see with other passengers. I mean, half the passengers on a plane can barely get in and out of a seat without flopping in the chair, without using both arms to pull themselves out. That's an obvious sign of not only being weak, but just having no mobility. And if you're really tight and you lack mobility, then you are going to be weak. So this stuff will really help you with stuff you like to do, like powerlifting, heavy kettlebell training, whatever you do. If you do heavy weight training, you want to engage in mobility work for restoration. So let's start with the neck. I'm just going to tilt my neck down, and then I'm just going to rock back and forth. We hold a lot of tension in the neck, so it's a good idea to do some mobility work every day for the neck. Now sometimes I'll do 30 reps of these if I feel really tight. Most of the time, I only need to do about 10 to 15. As long as I'm not tight on a certain exercise, I just move on to the next one. So now I'm going to move on forward and back. This is a fun one to do in the car when you're stuck in traffic. Just turn to the person next to you, roll down the window, blast the music, and just bang on a few of these. Okay, good. Now pick a point behind you, and without turning your body, just going to turn the neck as far as you can. And pick a point behind you each time. Now this stuff can get really boring. No one gets excited about doing mobility work. So you have to find ways to keep it interesting. My friend Tim Blackburn, I picked up a lot of exercises from him. He actually found a way to make money. He has a VIP site where it's called Joint Mobility for Polar Bears, and people pay him $9.95 a month to watch him do his joint mobility work every morning. Okay, now we're going to do an Egyptian. This is really good for the rotator cuff. So I'm just going to pivot and turn. Pivot and turn the other way. Now get into a good rhythm. Good. Try to keep your arms in the same plane. This is a good move to do at any Las Vegas dance club you go to. Try doing this in line. It'll get you to the VIP section much faster. If you're stuck in the airport, you'll get through the security line much faster with this move. Good. All right, now let's draw big circles with our hips. So we're just going to do a hula hoop type motion. Just bend the knees slightly. Draw big circles. Just breathe in and out while you're doing this. Don't hold your breath at any point. Stay relaxed. You shouldn't have any tension at all. Don't tighten up anything, in other words, to do the motion. Okay, now we're going to do some bowing. Bend the knees slightly. Bow all the way forward. Rock back. Now we're going to do some marching in place. People with really tight hip flexors, they have a hard time raising their knees high. They're usually stuck in this plane. And if you have good mobility, you should be able to bring your knee all the way up to your shoulder. This should be effortless. It shouldn't be something you have a hard time doing. And for those of you that do that kettlebell training, you'll find that the hip extension is very compromised when you can't bring your knees up. The same muscles we use to bring these up are going to help us generate a lot of power on kettlebell ballistic motions. So we're just going to do some marching in place. Good. Okay, now I'm going to have a seat on the mat. I'm going to do a rolling sit-up. You going to help me, Grover? Huh? You going to help me with this? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here come all my coworkers. Here come all the dogs to help me out. What's this? I'm not on the floor for you guys. What's all this? All right, next to me. Next to me, Rabia. Next to me, buddy. Look at this. Look at this. I'm surrounded. All right. So what I'm going to do, if I actually have enough space to do this, is I'm going to tilt to the left, contract my left oblique, left glute, contract the stomach, grab onto Rabia, and sit up. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down next to me. All right, now. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. And switch sides. This is a really good exercise actually for the midsection, but it's also good for tight hip flexors. The key is to avoid flopping. You don't want to do that. Rabia, killing me. Okay. One. Switch sides. Good. As you can see, Mickey here is very interested in what I'm doing. It's pretty exciting stuff here at the Mahler household. Good. So avoid flopping. What we don't want to do is this. That. Okay? You want to be able to control this motion at all times. Now the ones you have the hardest time with, those are the ones you want to spend the most time on. The ones that are easy, 5, 6, 7, 8 reps, just go right through it. When you reach one that's really hard, that's when you want to spend more time working on that tightness area. Okay, next we're going to do some spinal mobility exercises. So let's just do what's called a pump. Whoops, and look up. Rabia, you know anything about being too close to me? Here we go. Good. So the arms stay straight. Just flex the spine. Once you get in the habit of doing this, it does really make you feel great. And if you get out of the habit, like say you stop for a week or two, you're really going to tighten up. You're just going to feel like crap. Good. Okay. Now I also like to do some Indian clubs, a few exercises, and I picked these up from my friend Jason Dolby. He's got a great Indian club mobility section on my Age of Coral, kettlebell training the Age of Coral, a video I produced with Steve Cotter, Kim Blackburn, Andrew Dernier, myself, and Jason Dolby. I don't make a big production with Indian clubs. I just do a few motions for shoulder mobility. Okay, so the first one I'm going to work on, I'm just going to make big circles with these. Now these are not to be confused with club bells, rather. Club bells are a strength training system. The club bells I use are 25 pounds each. These weigh about a pound. We're not trying to get strong using Indian clubs. We're trying to increase mobility. These are great for shoulder health. I like to do a lot of overhead pressing. I bench press quite a bit. So I like to do some exercises to keep my shoulders healthy, keep the mobility there. Good. Now the next one is I'm just going to circle back. Just do about 3 or 4 of these each day, about 15 reps each side. You want to do mobility work every day. It's not something you do once a week or twice a week. You do it every morning. Just get into the habit of doing it. Make it a habit. So you don't end up like those people on the plane who can't even get out of their seat, which is shameful. Good. Okay, other side. Watch out, Rabia. I want to hit you with these. Okay, and reverse. Once you get in the hang of it, this won't take more than 5 or 10 minutes to do a full body. The next one's like a club bell swipe or a kettlebell swing. Full body mobility exercise. Okay, from another angle. Okay, one more. Save the best for last. Next one is called a Cossack drill. Look out, Rabia. Look out, buddy. Good dog. Look how lean and fit my lab is now. She's about 11 years old. If you look at my old YouTube clips, she used to be pretty chubby. Now she's lean and fit. Feeling good, huh? You look great. All right. Let's have you move out of the way a little bit. People can see the next exercise. Okay, so now I'm going to take a Y stance. Don't start barking, Rabia. Good, good girl. I'm going to take a Y stance. Then I'm going to shift all my weight to one leg. Stay low as you can. So if you need to come up high like that initially, that's fine. But the goal is to be able to stay low the entire time. Okay, so that's a simple joint mobility regimen. Do it every morning, make it a habit. If you need to do it again before working out just to get your mind ready, to get your body loosened up. The point with mobility work is to put your body through different planes of motion so you get rid of tightness, but also to make you more injury proof. If you pick up a weight incorrectly, your body's been in so many different planes, you're not as likely to tighten up. Now Steve Maxwell and Ken Blackburn, they have the best joint mobility info out there. Steve Maxwell has a great joint mobility section on my video. The boys are back in town. A video I produced with Nate Morrison, Steve Cotter, myself, Steve Maxwell back in 2006. And might have been 2007. And then Adria Coral has great joint mobility information from Ken Blackburn. So check them out on my website, MikeMahler.com. Also look for one of my workshops in your area. I'm traveling all over the US and overseas right now. Thank you.